No, time to start a new play of BioShock through sequel to the BioShock, which came out a few years before this game, and these both are in a collection. So it's time to, well, I already did some option changing and all that, which is very boring. But it's still time to go and play with a medium difficulty. There, loading screens and some basic gameplay tutorial move hints. Judging by that, there's a bit of control convenience changes. Most likely nothing particularly strange. But let's get going. And I did some testing out just to see how this works, and I know that the basic character you're playing as is Big Daddy. That lumbering behemoth, but which an utterly completely benevolent protector to the little sisters.
Look, Daddy, it's you. Let's go out to play, Daddy.
And this imagery is both horrifying yet heartwarming.
More angels, Daddy. This way.
There we are. He's perfectly safe now. This is not your daughter. Do you understand? Her name is Eleanor, and she is mine. Now, kneel, please. Remove your helmet.
And
now, take the pistol. Place it against your head. Fire.
That's powerful imagery, which actually shows very well that about the and that what happened when Rapture had not yet fallen to complete disrepair and death and destruction. But 10 years have passed, and I know that character was the protagonist. But how in hell even a Big Daddy would survive 10 years, or could resurrect after 10 years of being shot in the head? In the basic and in the first one, Big Daddies were unable to remove helmets. And that's great imagery too. just showing what you are, that there is no face for you to see, just a mask. And of course there being the little bit of yep, right after the Second World War, and of course with the nuclear bombs, and of course knowing that the yeah, and it's something like an 8 years since BioShock 1, so how in hell is this place even still standing? Of course, knowing that the conditions yeah, I did some tweaking with settings just to make the game look a bit brighter, so especially as I play this at the summertime, and in quite these northern latitudes there is not much darkness, so the fancier dark shades and all that would get very easily hidden by the well, ambient light, and even with the modern televisions of LED style. Sorry, doctor. But the basic plan is still the same. You can walk around, you fight things with your basic weaponry, which in Big Daddy's case is a drill. You can jump, crouch, use dispensers. And this form of Big Daddy is apparently able to use plastics.
Daddy was sleeping for such a long time, and Eleanor has missed you. Find her and you'll be all better. Daddy!
And that of course gives Big Daddy a long-term mission of finding Eleanor. Yep, Big Daddies are... I would say Big Daddy is completely unstoppable. Even though if someone has played the first BioShock, they know that how absolutely unrelentingly aggressive they become when the little sisters are threatened. Yeah, Electro Bolt. Quite much the basic. Plasmid, very handy, very efficient. 1540. 1540. Yeah, corpses have stuff like money and fuel.
Such a perfect idiot. Throws away all his spending money on gene tonics to effect a look of physical fitness. So he'll have an excuse to sit on his rear all day listening to radio serials. Steven, I tell him, you want to be fit? Come swim laps with me, the old-fashioned way. It's your mind that's atrophying. Maybe I'll start sneaking some brain boost into his daily regimen.
Well, why be fit if you can just get the plasmics? Oh, I have to stab him and... Yeah. Big Daddy doesn't move as swiftly as something else, but what he lacks is,
Lesson 1.
obviously what he has is brute power.
You are under the ocean now. If you feel the soft patter of rain on your hat, you're already fired. Lesson 2. You can jumpstart a dead generator with a direct spark, but clear the gases out of the pool first. Scares these rich pricks to watch a working stiff hurling thunderbolts. You follow me?
Well, that was basic instruction. You can zap the generator to get the power going.
At last, a signal. You, who are bringing this dead city to life, listen. My name, it is Tannenbaum. I know who you are, and I am in much need of your help. Please, find me in the Atlantic Express train station.
Now the Big Daddy has some kind of idea where to go. And I would still assume that even though they are very scientific, that even if they... Well, even at the first BioShock, which happened about 8 years before this game, there was very little of anybody sane left in the city, and I don't think death things have gotten any calmer about things like getting food. And the crazies couldn't have just eaten each other for that whole time.
Common good through social psychiatry. This city's potential is immeasurable, Eleanor. Yet our beliefs are unwelcome here. Life will be difficult, but the price of revolution is always dear. If we are patient with her, Rapture will come to us.
And I was attacked by a splicer while listening to that. And who is that Sophia Lamb? Tannenbaum is...
Taste of Adam in weeks.
I don't need to hear your grousing.
They zap him.
This is Dr. Sophia Lamb with a message for the people. Remember, you are not alone. Think of me not as leader, but as mother to the Rapture family.
Well, sounds like Sophia is doing some kind of big talk in loudspeakers as in the founder and of the Rapture itself, Mr. Andrew Ryan, and of complete failure of understanding how things work, even though brilliant he must have been. And he got killed. And there's remnants of a Rosie rivet gun. No.
I know I'll reach that new Jerusalem.
Let's just take the drill. Yeah, and in addition to walking about, Big Daddy can also smack things to death with the, well, big drill arm, being a big and heavy. I don't know how much Big Daddy should weigh, but it's most likely quite bulky. Thing like that isn't liked. The splicers don't look too healthy either.
Barely made it down alive. But here it is. And it's real. Rapture. This is where that thing took my poor baby girl. From what I saw in the sub, most of the city's in ruins. there were lights here and there, and shapes moving. I'm rambling, scared, I guess. But maybe, if I find this Dr. Lamb I keep hearing over the PA, I'll find Cindy too.
And someone else has also arrived to Rapture. Ugh. Take some rivets. And for somebody to even be able to find Rapture, they must be quite impressive person. At least by their guts and daring. That's a sister. They look less creepy. But they're still creepy.
Big sister doesn't want you playing with me.
Big sister. Oh, damn it. Let's start it. Oh shit. It's quite unpleasant. And this is actually a fight we can't win, so there's no point in trying to do anything about it. Let's just smack it. Oh yeah, it's running away.
Remember, Big Sister is always watching. To steal Adam is to steal from the Rapture family. Your family.
Alright, judging by all the ramblings there's going on.
Diane insisted that we spend a weekend at the Adonis. And already I find myself seeking a respite from my vacation. She deems it necessary to chide me for working. The words dissolve into an endless animal bleat. I founded Rapture to be free of law and God, to live among those for whom work is our wage. Yet, when Diane speaks of bearing my child, I am given pause. Till now I had never considered my legacy. Perhaps after the new year.
One thing can be said about Andrew Bryan, even though his ramblings can still be heard. He had big flaws in his brain, in his thinking. Mostly because, hey, he wanted to make a place without law. He did it. Somebody was even better at it, in that place than he was, and he couldn't handle it. That's why he was killed. Or that's why he made himself killed. And that image over there has very religious tone in it. And the game's narrative state would have wanted me to get the chase immediately, but actually I am not going that quickly there. And of course there's fires burning to make the spend the oxygen, but looks like Big Daddies don't need much of oxygen. It's breaking the glass. Oh. Now that's quite impressive, although they couldn't make all the huge mass of water animated so well. But Big Daddies can take underwater conditions, no problem. Anybody else would have been dead in about seconds. in about the first, where the wave of water would have smashed them, they hit the room, they would have been died. If not from that sheer impact, then from the simple fact that then the pressure would have equalized to a very deep, and even if that hadn't killed them, or the cold shock.
In that suit, even the ocean cannot harm you. This is good. But Rapture is the death of many great men. Alone, you will not last long. You can still reach the train station. Find me there.
Yep. Ocean. But still the big daddies walk around and got their little sisters. So of course, knowing that the death of Andrew Ryan in the first BioShock certainly wasn't the end of Rapture itself, but I'm still wondering that how in hell have the people been eating here? Or do splicers become some sort of mentally stable in the long run, or as in more capable of doing anything, or do they just die and then eat each other? And even if they would just eat each other, there's people breed slower, so that cannibalism cannot solve the matters long time. But the Rapture looks, well, it looks like very grand, but it still looks like shit. Those buildings look quite derelict, and signs are dangling about. Oh! Seeing that this form of Big Daddy is able to act quite well, it's not just basic. And there she is. It knows how to swim. I don't. Cycle the airlock. But the basic fanciful Art Deco environment is still great here, is still around, which is nice, and it's really in a sense understandable that in the first game you just played as a regular fool, just got stuck there, but now you are one of the most noticeable inhabitants of Rapture. You are Big Daddy, and you are more or less doing what you are meant to do. Big Daddies protect little sisters. Although in the longer run, but I know that this protagonist is a bit different from the basic Big Daddies of the first BioShock.
Ah, Herr Delta. You arrive as the little one said you would. Come upstairs to the ticket booth, and I will offer what I know of you.
Bridget Tenenbaum. And I still would find it strange that, well, of course splicers are crazy. They're the basic mooks you mow down to the game, but it's still would wonder that they should be able to recognize and fear the basic shape of the Big Daddies. Hello. So, which means that
now most who survive are like this. Splicers. They're drug addicts. Vicious animals.
Yeah. Even if they were something like that, they still are not that stupid that they cannot cope with anything. Remote hack darts. Let's take the hack tool and shoot it. Stop it on the green. Oh yeah, I can do remote hacking. Interesting detail, and I do hope that in the game it would stop the basic gameplay for the while, that you could do the hacking. Otherwise there would be no point in that. You just stop don't know what to do, and then the enemies rip you apart with big... Oh, damn it. Now the security part, and of course, and for some reason Big Daddy also knows how to do the hacking part. But then again, this is not the basic Big Daddy. This is actually of the more original versions. Potentially much more powerful, but much more unstable and also much more brittle. Oh, damn it. Damn, they look like shit. And a big rivet right into his back.
This is Dr. Sophia Lamb. Andrew Ryan is dead, but the tyrant dwells within us all. Remember, we reject the gene. We reject the self. We reject the tyrant.
It's really interesting to notice that when you look at the weird craziness of Andrew Ryan's thinking, is that he definitely did not want to be a tyrant. He just became one, and then he was to be served from that job, from not being good enough, which you might say is to be true, if you could not say irony. I wouldn't call it irony, but the bizarre inherent contradiction is that, well, every rule and method is easy to follow and approve when you are not dealing with its consequences yourself.
I know you. That symbol on your hand marks you a dead man. 10 years, Subject Delta, since I watched you put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. But take heart. Out of your pain, paradise was born. I don't know how you survived, but your suffering is over now. These men will ease your burden. Please understand that, like all I have done, this is an act of love.
It is Sophia Lamb. She has found you.
Alright, that looks bad. I'm trapped in here. Oh, damn it. Taking damage. But apparently can't die. Yep, it's scripted like that. Yeah, they should know. Subject Delta, which is this guy's name. He was one of the earlier forms of Big Daddy. That's why he can use plasmids. That's why he's much more better able to think. But there was so much problems in them that the whole line was just simply, yeah, we can improve it. Do we make more of these? No.
Now you know of the enemy we share, Sophia Lamb. The camera in your helmet allows me to watch through your eyes and help you to fight her.
Oh yeah. There is still no denying that the fact that Big Daddies are very strong.
Careful. Security cameras belong to Lamb. But if you are clever, they can be made to serve you.
Let's make them serve me. Yeah, they serve me now. And why are you still wearing a mask, Splicer? It's not New Year or any other that kind of time. And this must be one of the many bot shutdown panel. All kinds of handy stuff around here to be walked. Rivets, but I haven't been using them much. Not using the shooting. And that's the fact that the camera seems to be, once you hacked it, seems to be on your side, which is permanently on your side, which is good. Grill fuel. Twisted steel. That stuff Big Daddies used to tear apart.
Father, it's me, Eleanor. I know you're awake in there. I can feel it. Mother won't be able to toy with you like that ever again. This plasmid is for you. If I'm right, you can use it now. Please, find me.
I wonder to what is that meaning, because I did not get any new plasmid. Oh, there it is. Telekinesis plasmid.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
Yep. Those pneumo tubes. It's still really well, it's this era's game that you can't grab enemies or anything like that, although just things.
There would be no Rapture without me. No city without the Atlantic Express. Ryan took his first grand tour on my flagship coach. These days, personal bathyspheres are all the rage. My rails only connect the oldest parts of Rapture now. And the city's just left me behind. Plenty of cash in the bank, though. This private vehicle craze will blow over soon.
That's actually in a sense. And hello, splicers. Coming here. Why are you so stupid to pick a fight with a Big Daddy? Although this is a Big Daddy not so capable of being oh yeah, square button allows you to reload, and yeah, gather all the nice loot, eat stuff, eat more of their stuff, steal the money and all that. And where to go now? Oh yeah, here's the train car. which I can't use. It's broken down to pieces. And not here.
Sophia Lamb is using the splicers against you. Most big daddies are like her slaves, guarding the little ones. But someone has awakened you.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps the brain injury...
I know of your bond with Eleanor Delta. To save yourself, you will come for her. But Eleanor has a destiny, one you cannot share. There is no place for you in paradise.
So, Sophia Lamb is now the big head honcho of the...
These people are hooked on some kind of genetic wonder drug called Adam. I've read the word splicer scribbled on walls like a warning. One of them cornered me and Christ, his face. I had a gun, but I choked. And then out of nowhere, we both heard this singing. And he took off like hell on wheels. It sounded like a kid. A little girl. Cindy's alive. I know it in my gut.
Now, there's somebody else who has retained... Someone else, instead of... Well, as in, you know it, the Jack of the first BioShock was schemed to get to the Rapture, but that guy, Mr. Meltzer, he came here on his own guts and will. That's impressive. Ah man, there's stuff to be bought and can be hacked. Let's try hacking it. Oh, it's actually much easier than it was previous one. Actuals. All kinds of handy stuff. Shutdown panel going upstairs. There you are. And it's still running. Or she is still running. And I really wonder...
Quickly! Head for the elevator!
And I would now, as I really start to think about it...
In ethical psychiatry, we must account for the role of evolution. Depression, fits of panic, sexual pathos. All responses to ancient selection pressure. The irony is that this theory is why Ryan's people invited me here. They mistake my study of natural law for the worship of competition. Remember, Eleanor, one must know the beast before it can be slain.
Oh yeah, and it appears, well, that the antagonist of this game, Sophia Lamb, if it follows the similar idea that the antagonist is not actually the final boss or boss you face.
Go ahead, ruin it. I'm gonna
that this spinny drill bit thing is very powerful indeed. That's my friendly bot and my basic. There's the bot shutdown panel. I don't want you making racket anymore here. And my security bot should be able to cause And there's a remote hack tool. Let's prepare to use it.
What is it?
And I must say that the hacking is oh yeah, and the hacking is much better in comparison to the first BioShock in that it's much more smooth and smoothly running, much quicker to do, and of course when you have the speed hack long distance hack device, it gives you all kinds of trickery and moves you can pull off. It's most likely you can pull off. So the basic gameplay seems to have been made much more complex, or whether say not necessarily complex, but much more adaptable in that you can use much more. Well, in many games when there's chances to play different options and equipments, they usually boast that there's plenty of methods to do, but it's not actually viable, or if it is viable every method, then the gameplay is usually game is usually easy. Have fun. I got away from you, and Sophia Lamb's got an army of her own splicers. Well,
now, here is what the children tell me. You are a very old Big Daddy, bonded for life to a single little one. When you are apart for too long, your body begins to shut down like a coma. As long as the girl is in the Rapture, you are trapped here as well. The name of your little one is Eleanor Lamb, daughter of Sophia. She is kept at Fontaine Futuristics on the other side of the city. You must go there and save her before it is too late.
It's been a long time. She must have grown. And being Eleanor Lamb means she's daughter of Sophia, which in a sense doesn't sound pleasant at all. But being a Big Daddy, rough rivets. Oh yeah, I can. Although I'm quite certain that those things are not friendly traps to me. Oh, I can't blow them up. Let's try to walk through them and see, do I explode? No, I don't explode. Yo, so those are the trap rivets. When the traps are, when you are immune to traps, you put out yourself. That's very convenient thing of gameplay. Well, although I was quite certain that if the trap is sprung when I'm near it, it will cause damage to me as well. As in that I cannot trigger the bomb, but bomb will still hurt me.
Dr. Siu Chong's death was a nasty blow to the Protector program, but I'm gradually settling into his role, picking up the slack that his carelessness left behind. We are gaining steam again, but I'm not satisfied. Yes, the Big Daddy defends the girl, but he is programmed only for the fight. Like a sheepdog who wanders off unless a wolf is tearing at his flock. When no aggressor is present, he regards his little sister as he might a common houseplant. We need something more, something stronger, an unbreakable physiological bond.
Yeah, indeed, the bonding. As the Big Daddies Well, he made quite interesting noticings about what the Big Daddies are. Let's prepare the electrobolt. Yeah, shock him and zap him. Or as Frank Fontaine, aka who also used the name Atlas, said zap him and whack him. And that's quite viable tactics to use. And my drill is more or less seems to be fully automated, so...
You see? This is why I must fight Sophia Lamb. She is using the new little ones for something. And I have returned to rescue them. If I do not, more children will die for my sins. And the Rapture nightmare will repeat forever. Now, we must talk.
Citizens of Rapture, this is Subject Delta. Behind that mask hides an enemy of the people, without soul or sympathy. It is a beast apart, and as family, we must tear out its jaw and drive it back into the sea.
Lamb will take this place apart to fight you. Please hold back the splicers until we escape.
Well, very simple. Whenever Big Daddy gets agitated, there will be violence. Yep, they did.
Thank you. Now I must leave you, and I am sorry for this. But there are others I must help before the city drowns. This man Sinclair, he is an ally, and will guide you to Eleanor. Goodbye, Herr Delta. And good luck.
Well, look at you. A bona fide knight in armor, complete with iron horse. The name's Augustus Sinclair, Sport, Esquire. Old Tannenbaum and I share an interest in the old Fontaine building, the very same place you'll find Eleanor Lamb. I think you and I can do business. Take the train to Ryan Amusements. I'll see you shortly.
Well, he appears smarmy, but seeing that the Tannenbaum, despite being in a sense creepy and quite blunt, well, anybody living in the Rapture is by default somehow creepy. So, well, Sophia Lamb has marked Delta to death. So it's time to actually go and, well, make sure that it is not like that. And I can get on less, carry less amount of first aid kits. And the drill fuel almost full. Subject Delta. A Big Daddy in practically in its most, well, not its most evolved form, but at least in its most able form, in its very able form. So time to ride a train and see where it leads me. likely somewhere else. And Delta C. Oh, it actually ends this place right here. I got the game to beginning. Nice 50s style music. The grill swing. And of course there's the autosave system, which is quite handy.
Whoa there! Now better apply the brakes unless you're aiming to dash yourself against that glacier up ahead.
And whatever you say, I don't actually like the... I don't find that...
As you can see, Chief, the station here's iced over. To reach Eleanor Lamb at Fontaine headquarters, we'll have to clear the way. Now, in order to melt that ice, you'll need a plasmid, like a handful of hellfire. We used to sell a fine old product called Incinerate in the amusement park up yonder. Go on and find a way in. I've already been on all the rides.
Whatever you say, I find that guy's mannerism, well, not particularly trustworthy, but this is Rapture, who at best he might be, he could be he might be to be of rational self-interest, which means that he is helping us because helping us helps him. He wants to help himself, so he helps us. Very simple, yet also very yet it's simple, understandable, and reasonable. As long as they self-interest go same direction, there's most likely no reason to worry about betrayal or anything. And it's time to end this episode right here. See you next time. See ya.